Hey guys, coming to you live from Quixote Winery here in Stag's Leap District. This is one of the coolest wineries to visit in Napa Valley. And you'll know that in Napa Valley there's all types of different wineries to visit. There's those that are incredibly aesthetically appealing. There's those that have really good wines that are really small and boutique and don't really have this, big luxury type place. And then there's ones that are all about the aesthetic, like the big castles and different architectural pieces that don't so much focus on the wine, but focus much more on the experience of it all. It's almost like the Disneyland effect. Quixote is kind of one that has both of those things. They have this incredible architecture here that was designed by an Austrian architect. It's his only piece here in the United States, and it's absolutely just remarkable architecture. I'm gonna go back down to the vineyard where I can have a little bit more privacy and not be filming right in front of a winery, and we'll talk a little bit more about which wineries in Napa Valley are the best to visit. All right, guys, I found this really incredible vineyard. It's right next to Quixote. It, I think, belongs to Stag's Leap Winery, and it's all this old vine head pruned Viognier. Really cool, no trellising or anything like that. The rows are kind of wide, the spacing is really wide, and there's these big burly old vines, Viognier vines here, amazing. So what wineries are the best to visit in Napa Valley? That is such a broad question. It depends on what you're seeking. You might want a winery that has an intense focus on just the best wine they can possibly make. Like, they don't care about the aesthetic of the property or the architecture or even really the tasting experience. They're very focused on the winemaking aspect of it. And when you go there, you might taste with the owner on a barrel or in their living room or something like that. And it's very much a boutique type thing that's really focused on the wine. That is an amazing experience to do, and certainly there's several operations around the valley that you might seek out that are a little smaller operations like that are focused more on the wine. Now, if you're into the big aesthetic and you want to come here and do the tourist thing, like if you're going to go to Paris, you're going to want to go to the Eiffel Tower or something like that, or the Louvre or whatever. When you come to Napa Valley, you're going to want to consider a few options for the big tourist type thing. Number one, you're definitely going to want to consider Opus One. Collaboration between the Rothschild family and the Mondavis, and it's a super ultra modern gravity flow architectural masterpiece right in the heart of Oakville. And of course, Opus One with all the cachet and all the money, it's really kind of a unique place to go visit. I mean, it's so immaculate you could like eat off the floor. So like Opus One, definitely cool thing if you're into the big show. Dariush is a really cool winery. Dariush is Persian, and he actually created this like Persian palace with all these amazing columns, and it's really lavish and incredible. And you know what? They actually have really good wine over at Dariush too, and the hospitality is really good. So I would definitely recommend, if you're into that flashy thing, Dariush. If you want to do the castle, there's a big castle, Castello de Amorosa, kind of up north in the northern part of the valley. I don't know if it's St. Helena or Calistoga, but North Napa Valley, and it's a like straight up castle brought from Europe and built piece by piece here, and it's just really extravagant. Their wine is just mediocre. The experience is really cool. The views are really cool, and you'd really love that if you're into that. Another one that's really famous for kind of like the show is Sterling Vineyards up in Calistoga, and you get to take like this tram way up to the top of the hill where their winery is, and they have this immaculate view of the entire Napa Valley. Wines are pretty good there, and that's kind of a fun one too if you're into that type of thing. The next thing is if you want to do like this like cave experience. There's lots of these amazing caves, and I can create a video about the best cave tours, but I would say some of the best caves here in Napa Valley are definitely Jarvis. They have like 30,000 square feet of deep, big caves that go into the mountain. Really good wines at Jarvis as well. There's gorgeous caves at Farniente, and really good wine at Farniente as well in Oakville. There's amazing caves up at Schramsberg, which is probably my favorite cave tour, where they have these hand-dug tunnels from about 150 years ago that were dug by Chinese migrants, and you go hundreds of feet inside of a deep, dark tunnel, and there's champagne bottles that stack along the sides of the walls, and you get way deep in the mountain, and a big dome opens up, and you under candlelight you taste 5 or 6 different sparkling wines. Schramsberg's an amazing tour, one of the best I've ever had here in Napa Valley. There's also wineries with views that have just an incredible, immaculate view of the Napa Valley. What comes to mind with that is Mayacamas, way up on top of the Mayacamas Mountains. They have an incredible view up there that kind of, on a clear day, you can even see like downtown San Francisco from the mountain. Just really beautiful views up there. Cade on Howell Mountain. It's one of the most pretty wineries architecturally and has a gorgeous view of the entire Napa Valley. Also, if you're up on Howell Mountain, I would suggest Robert Craig. They're one of the highest elevations on the entire mountain, have a beautiful view overlooking the valley. Chapelet up on Pritchard Hill. They have a gorgeous view of Lake Hennessy. And it's just immaculate up there, just gorgeous, gorgeous property, beautiful architecture, like this pyramid type thing. Quixote is really awesome where I was just at. They just have really good wine. They're in the Stag's Leap District, one of the coolest architectural pieces in the entire valley. There's really cool wineries to visit. There's commercial wineries too, bigger outfits that have certainly a lot of history and appeal to them. Robert Mondavi's famous Tokelon Vineyard in the heart of Oakville. Just a beautiful, beautiful property. A lot of deep history about how Robert Mondavi kind of put us on the national stage here in Napa Valley. If you want to do BV, one of the most historical vineyards here, and the great, find out about the great Andrei Teleshev, that was one of the best winemakers here in Napa Valley for decades and kind of helped to establish that brand. If you want to do Inglenook, which is the famous Rubicon estate, owned by Francis Ford Coppola. Great architecture, amazing museum. You can see his like Oscar from The Godfather, and their wines are spectacular. And that's the old Inglenook estate that has been here for, what, 100 years now. So there's historical things too. Chateau Montelena, another one, very historic properties here that have been around for almost a century. So there's so much to figure out and so much to see in Napa Valley. It all depends on your preference. Also pick the wineries where you're gonna like the wine. If you like Pinot Noir, you might not want to go to a Cabernet only place. And if you like Cabernet, you might not want to go to a Chardonnay and Pinot place down in Carneros. So pick the wines you want as well and think about that. Most wineries that I mentioned and most of the wineries here in Napa Valley are now appointment only. So make sure you book in advance and give proper notice, especially during the high season and during harvest time. But those are some of my suggestions for some of the best wineries to visit in Napa Valley. Of course, there's so many that I could have mentioned, but it depends on what category you're really looking to fulfill. Anyways, cheers, and thank you for visiting the channel. Please hit the subscribe button below and comment and like, and tell me about your favorite wineries here in Napa Valley as well.